Hi, welcome to the update on the Xdreme Action Cam. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know all about the operation of this camera. If you haven't, if you go ahead and watch those part 1 and 2 of the review, you'll see the unboxing and operation menu and everything else to do with the camera. And likewise, if you look at my channel, you'll see lots of, a few videos of onboard footage that I've taken while the weather's been reasonable. Now I'm filming this update just to cover a few little bits that I didn't include in the original videos for people that have inquired, and also to highlight a potential problem. Now I say problem in inverted commas because it's one of those things that may or may not be considered a problem depending on your point of view. But we'll get to that in a moment. So first of all, the camera's been used quite extensively, as you'll be able to see from the videos. It's survived a full frontal assault from a bee, and the bee lost, I have to say. I wasn't actually aware of it until I got home and unmounted the camera, and then I was picking sort of yellow fluffy bits from the mount. But it survived that incredibly well. It's survived having a few flies smeared across the lens and cleaned off, and it's still in good condition, nice and clean and bright, as you can see there, and it's done very well indeed. The only thing I still need to iron out is the wind noise with the microphone above 50 miles an hour, but to be frank, I think that's more to do with the design of my helmet, which has slot vents in the front which vent straight into the facial area, and as a result you do get quite a bit of wind in there. You can actually feel that around this portion of your face as you're riding. So what I'm going to try and do is blank off one side of those where the microphone is and see how that works. But all in all, up to 50 mile an hour, it comes across very clearly indeed. I'm quite pleased with it. So a little bit of fettling, I think that will be absolutely spot on. So on this video I'm going to be showing you some 1080p footage, and alongside, in addition to rather, the 720p footage. Now this is not so much so that you can see the quality difference, because YouTube compression kind of destroys that, but more so you can see the field of view difference. However, anybody wanting to see the quality difference, if the demand is great enough, then what I can do is upload these files to an account where you can access them, download the raw files in short clips, so that you can actually see the quality for yourself. But just let me know, and as I say, if I've got enough people interested, then that's something I can look at doing. But more, as I say, in this video, just to give you an idea of the field of view of the camera, so you can see the width difference between the extreme wide angle 172 degree of the 720p compared to the considerably narrower angle of the full HD. Now, in addition to that, I will be showing you some stop motion pictures made into movies, using the feature on the camera where you can set this to take a photograph every so many seconds. Now, this is not something that I would be doing regularly, which is a good thing, because this is where the problem is. If you would call it a problem. I don't know if this occurs on other cameras, but essentially what I discovered when I was doing stop motion, if the camera is stationary, taking a picture every so many seconds, just clicking away, it will do that until the battery runs flat, quite happily, no problem whatsoever. Now I had it mounted in the car, because I did a stationary one to make into a little stop motion clip, and I had it mounted in the car to do a stop motion of me driving home from work. And what happened with that one was, after about 3 minutes, the screen froze. Everything just froze solid, and none of the buttons would respond, and I actually had to pop the back open and pop the battery out, as you would with, say, your mobile phone. If it freezes up on you, you just pop the battery out, wait a couple of seconds, pop it back in and restart. Restarted it and everything was fine. And when I got home I tried again, giving it, holding it stationary, which was fine, and then giving it a bit of a jiggle around, and that managed to freeze it again. Now I have a suspicion that it's to do with the amount of data that it's reading onto the pixels and coping with the drastic changes, and I think the onboard processor can maybe not cope with that for photography purposes. It's fine for video. I've tried it with video, moving it around. Obviously I've had it helmet mounted and it's been bouncing around on the top of my helmet, no problem whatsoever. And as I say, for me it's not a deal breaker, because the stop motion stuff while moving is not something that I'm likely to be doing. But it's worth bearing in mind. I'd be interested, for anybody else with one of these or one of the Crockless, the predecessors, If they would test that and see if theirs does the same, that would be very interesting to know, and I'd be grateful for that. And likewise, anybody with a Drift or a GoPro, because I'm not sure if it's something that's that would just occur on this, maybe. So enough of the waffling now. What I'm going to do is show you first of all some of the 1080p clips so you can see the field of view. These are just short 30-second clips, and they feature a large Tesco superstore. Doesn't get any more exciting than this, folks. So as does the stop motion, the stationary stop motion, so you'll see some 30-second clips in 1080p followed by some 30-second clips of the same view in 720p, and you'll see the width difference there. Following that, I have a stop motion, a couple of short stop motion pieces, one stationary showing the clouds and people passing by, and the second one in-car mounted, so we'll go straight ahead and have a look at those. Okay, so there you've seen the clips and you've seen the stop motion, and as you can tell, this has now had quite a bit of use. It's been used quite extensively, and I'm still very pleased with it. The performance is very good. It's been charged a few times. The battery life is remaining consistent at the moment, and it's proving a very tough unit. So as I said before, I can certainly recommend it, and I can still recommend it highly. I'm very pleased with it. The only fault, if you would call it that I've found so far is the moving stop motion problem, and as I say, for me that's not a deal breaker because it's not something that I plan to do on any regular basis. It was just out of curiosity, just purely to get a couple of stop motion clips as samples for you guys. So it might be worth bearing in mind if that's something that you may want to do. You may want to think about whether that would be a problem for yourself. As I say, anybody else with one, if they could comment and try that to see if theirs does it, because it could just be a fault with mine, that would be great. But that's really the only negative. So as before, I can recommend it. If you're after a good quality, rugged, sturdy action camera, go out and get yourself one of these. It's cracking, and thanks for watching.